the main responsibility of the Office of the Chief Health and Medical Officer is we're not really involved with implementation. We're policy and oversight, whether it's the health and medical standards or the requirements for, medical quality assurance, or the requirements for meeting research subject protection, human and animal. And helping us to develop our policy, we have a number of different mechanisms that we use. One is we have external advice through the Institute of Medicine, which is one of the part of the National Academy of Sciences. We have a standing committee called the Committee on Aerospace Medicine and Medicine in Extreme Environments. And this is an external committee we go to when we need advice for what sort of medical policies we should be putting in place, or they often review what we do. So, for example, we have a process for how we develop our medical standards. We ask them to look at our process and make recommendations how we can improve that process. We use them also for this ethical and policy decision-making framework. So our policy and oversight function is informed by external recommendations that we get through the IOM. We also use what's called the Medical Policy Board. This is more of it's a headquarters level board that's made up of all the NASA chief medical officers. There are 5 of them at 5 of the different centers, as well as medical officers from some of the other federal agencies. We have representation from the Air Force, Federal Aviation Administration, National Institutes of Health. And we oftentimes run any of our policy decisions by the Medical Policy Board before we implement them, for them to give sort of a very high level review. And that Medical Policy Board has been very helpful to us throughout the years. And then at the same time, we have a lot of interaction with the multilateral medical policy boards. There's a number of boards that work at different levels of operational. There's the actual board related to how the flight doctors across the international agencies work together. So that's one level of board. Then there's another level that's more operational. And then there's a high level international medical policy board that's kind of has the representation from the international partners that's the same level as the Office of the Chief Health and Medical Officer. And so these multilateral boards have been also very helpful, not only as we come up with ideas to get to work with our international partners to get agreements on how things should be implemented, particularly on the space station, how things should be done cooperatively across the international partners. So we get input in our policy and oversight function externally through the IOM, across our international partners, and also just internally, not only with representation from the NASA medical community, but also from the other federal agencies. And so this provides a lot of sort of checks and balances on what we do. So we're not just out there making policies. We take our proposed policies and our plans and get them reviewed at a number of different levels.